We are talking again to Taylor Bradford of the Gloucester Daily Times. Hi, Taylor.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. So tell us what's going on this week.
So as of Wednesday, we've got some big news for students. They're trying to figure out the end of the year celebrations and what's going to happen for senior class of 2020. And their ideas are coming. Nothing is confirmed yet, but the student council brought a proposal to the school committee on Wednesday night to kind of start that deliberation process and see what might make the most sense during this kind of uncertain time. So there's proposals of 3 different things: of graduation, of prom, and then also where the allocation of the rest of their senior funds would go. So as we know, the senior class has been doing a lot with Gloucesteropoly, which is the most popular board game on the North Shore right now, and then also just finding different ways to raise money for the things that they were planning for, such as their prom and senior banquet. And so the proposal that they had was quite something. They are saying that they want to reallocate all their funds to donate to people who are suffering from COVID-19, whether that's families who have lost loved ones, those who have lost jobs, to places like the Open Door and Action Inc. And so where all this extra money is coming from is they actually want to have a smaller prom. They're saying that right now they know they can't enter the building and they can't congregate, but when the time is allowed and right and appropriate, they want to have they say, like the movies kind of prom in the gymnasium, and saying that instead of doing it at some fancy yacht club or on a boat or wherever they might have chosen otherwise, they want to do it there and have kind of on that classic feel. And then the extra money that they said they would like to donate. So those are kind of prom and the reallocation of funds. And then for graduation, right, this is something that we're dealing with all across Cape Ann and the North Shore. And so they're saying, they want to have a drive-in graduation where they have all the speakers film themselves ahead of time, then have the seniors, each person bring a photo or submit a photo that will kind of cross the screen as their name is called. And they're saying that this isn't necessarily a replacement, but kind of an opportunity to do something during the time so they can have a little bit of closure, but would like something later on in the fall. So these are a few of the ideas that are kind of formulating right now. Nothing is certain. They kind of, in response to Governor Baker's kind of quick response saying, we need to cancel school buildings for the remainder of the school year. They're saying these are some ideas that we have, but right now they're also looking to hear from the community. So nothing is certain. And I know that even the mayor said that she's like, it's possible to have a graduation. She was advising that there's a possibility to do it on the football field, have the chairs far apart. But again, these are all ideas. She even said she's just trying to brainstorm to be able to commemorate something that is not only meaningful for the seniors, but also for the Cape Ann area in general. So that's kind of what's going on with the seniors. Which is pretty exciting that they're having that conversation. So,
yeah.
And I just think that as sad as this is for the graduates, it is going to be the most memorable graduating year that in our lifetimes. I mean, everyone's going to remember the class of 20 for this. So it's going to be a special event, no matter how they pull this off.
Right. I was actually talking with one of the executive directors of the Student Council, Catherine Bevins, yesterday. Just wanted to get a quick phone call in to check in on her. She was telling me that she'd been on the phone for 5 hours with different community members, teachers, parents, students, because she's trying to figure out, as the rest of the Student Council is about, what they're doing and what 2020 will look like. So I know for her, probably when she kind of gets to the next step after high school, something that she definitely will not forget. Is all the different things she's had to kind of navigate and collaborate with over the past couple of months. So.
But very generous of them to be already considering the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we understand that you covered a protest this week.
Yeah, so Ethan Foreman from the Salem News went over to Swampscott to cover a protest that was happening outside Governor Baker's house. This is actually organized by a woman named Diana Ploss of Gloucester, who is the MAGA, her self-described MAGA activist. And what they were protesting was, saying that it was an unjust lockdown of the economy in the state, and that they want the state to reopen, saying that, if people are scared of the coronavirus, scared of getting infected, that they can stay at home, but for those who are fine, they should be allowed to go out and kind of go about their business. And so there was a lot of different people there. Ethan was reporting that, more than protesters. It was really policemen, it was journalists, it was different people within the community who were coming out to see what was going on. So there's a lot of different signs, a lot of different things. The only person who wasn't there was Governor Baker himself. So kind of show the conversation. There's a couple different photos going about that were taken by Jamie Campos of the Salem News that kind of shows both the protesters who are saying, you know, we need to have our freedom, we need to be allowed to go out when we want, but then there's other people with signs saying, you know, that they respect both Governor Baker and everyone else within the administration. And so kind of that discussion of, you know, staying safe, what does it look like? And, you know, Ethan Foreman's reporting kind of showed that there's a lot of different opinions out there. There's a lot of confusion of, you know, what's right, what's wrong. But I know they're just trying to keep as socially distanced as possible for the time being. So definitely an interesting story, and one that I know we don't just see here on the North Shore. It's something that's kind of happening all around as people are trying to figure out, you know, what they believe and what's safe. So.
And were the protesters masked, Taylor?
Some of them were. There was one woman, I know there's a photo of a woman who wasn't masked, so there's kind of a mix of people who, from both, if I guess you want to say sides, the different people who were there representing different viewpoints. Some were masked, some weren't. And so I know that the policemen and the reporters were masked, but those who were there to kind of express differing opinions kind of varied in terms of their level of social distancing and kind of taking those precautionary measures to make sure that they didn't contract anything and didn't give anything to anyone else. So.
And is there a number count for the number of protesters? Do we know, sort of, was it 5 to 10, 20? No?
No definite number in the reporting, and I think that kind of also was due to there were so many different people with so many different signs and things like that, and so it's kind of tricky to figure out, you know, just how many people were there for the protest alongside the Gloucester resident, how many people were there just viewing or, you know, supporting Governor Baker. So.
Right. No, I asked that because we've all heard these protests are happening, but then I also hear there are always more reporters than protesters. So, or often there are more reporters than protesters. So I just wondered about that.
Yeah.
So what are you working on this weekend?
So, you know, we're kind of looking at the week, you know, we were talking about earlier about there's some really happy news going around the area, and there's also some hard news as, you know, the numbers keep increasing as we're still within the surge of the pandemic. So, you know, there's different reporting that's going on about response to Trump's kind of different things that he said within a press conference the other day in regards to different disinfectants. And so, you know, reporters are trying to scramble to figure out from different people, both administration and doctors and healthcare providers, of what's appropriate to be doing to kind of keep yourself safe. I know Lysol just came out with a statement kind of saying don't use their products for that, the way in which Trump had kind of explained it during his press conference. And so, you know, we're kind of looking at a local level. And then also you'll be reading a story later next week on kind of the discussions about, you know, what people are doing to stay sane, whether that's, you know, kind of going into the water at a socially distanced pace and just kind of meditating and taking that time to relax while keeping distance from one another. So that'll be a story that'll be coming to the newsstands by you guys. Then also we're going to be having some discussions with some administration. So I'm going to be doing an interview with the mayor and Jim Destino next week. And so we're just going to be talking a little bit about their experience and what's been going on from their side of things during this time. So looking forward to that and kind of hearing from them of what it's been like to work within City Hall during COVID-19, but also kind of what they're looking forward to as we, as a city, continue to move forward, as, you know, the mayor said not too long ago on January 1st. So.
Very cool, Taylor. Thanks again for your time and checking in with us each week. We will see you Monday, right?
Oh, yeah. See you guys Monday.
Have a great weekend.
You guys too. Bye.
Take care.